5 things you didn't know about the Light Saber. Next on Retro Serial. Hey everyone, welcome to Retro Serial. I'm your host, DNC. Glad you could be joining me for this episode where we talk about 5 things that you might not have known or you might have known about the Light Saber. I actually dug a few of these things out. I've got actually 5 Light Saber replicas or toys. There's 4 and there's one more over here that I'm going to get to. And so what I decided to do today was tell you 5 facts about the Light Saber and then talk about each one of these that are in my collection. But before we get to that, would you do me the honor of subscribing to my channel? It would just mean the world to me. And hit the thumbs up button so it'll help it in the algorithm and other people watch this content. And also, share this on your favorite social media if you are interested in helping us out here. Hit the bell notification if you want to know when these things are available. And if you want to go one extra step and part with some of your hard-earned cash to donate to what we're doing here, please hit the link below to the Patreon where you can donate and see all my wildest YouTube dreams come true. Now, I'm using Patreon right now. I know if you're a devotee to this program that I actually used Buy Me a Coffee for quite a while. But I'm having some trouble with it. There have actually been people that I know have donated to Buy Me a Coffee, and I never got any of it. It never came up on any receipts or anything, so I don't know exactly what's going on. So for right now, I'm strictly doing Patreon, and I'm going to go back and redo all the links for Patreon. So if you were somebody who donated, thank you so much, and I don't know why it didn't get to me. So with all that said, though, let's go ahead and talk about the Light Saber. Fact number 1, Kenner was not the original ones to make a toy lightsaber. Yes, before the Kenner edition of the toy lightsaber came out, there was another lightsaber, and actually it didn't really have anything to do with Lucas or anything like that. It was just a red flashlight hilt. Wasn't anything special. It didn't try to replicate the movie whatsoever, and an extended beam. I don't have one with me right here, but I did get one when I was 4 years old, shortly after Star Wars came out, and mine was green, and I think they came in 2 colors. I think they came in red and green. Now, the extended plastic part of it was clear, but the light that emitted from it, the filter on the light, was green, and so that was the first lightsaber toy. Now, shortly after that, I think by 1980, Kenner did introduce a toy lightsaber. However, the handle was kind of clunky and awkward, and it didn't really, to me, look like anything out of the movie. And the blade was inflatable, and I had 2 of those over the course of the year, and they both broke, and they were actually easy to break because they were inflatable. All you had to do was hit them and they would pop, and then you'd have to patch them or buy a new one. I'm sure they're worth a pretty penny today, but quite honestly, they're worth having as a collector's item. But as a kid wanting to play with lightsabers in my backyard or in my front yard with my friends, they just weren't that good. Now, on to this lightsaber here, because I told you I was going to show you my collection of lightsabers. This is Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber. In 1995, they started reproducing lightsabers that looked like this, and they started with Luke's green one. This is Qui-Gon Jinn's. This was out obviously after Phantom Menace came out, but they had the same style. It was the same style. So this in here was kind of fixed, and it didn't collapse all the way into the handle, which was kind of annoying. And I said this before, it was Luke's lightsaber, so it was this green hilt, but it had that extended blade on it, had that extended portion on it. And I actually had one, but I sold it. Oh well, what are you gonna do? But with these ones, it came out to a pretty decent length, and it did have Well, the battery's obviously not working so great on that one. It did have an energy buzz sound, and you could pretty much beat your friends up with this, beat each other up with this kind of a thing. And so this one got a lot of use out of it. As you can see, it's fairly scarred up. I was an adult when this came out, but that didn't stop me from wanting to recreate some of my favorite scenes from Star Wars. So I have one of these, and I actually had the Luke Skywalker green one, but like I said, I sold it. So that's the story of this thing, and fact number one as well. Fact number two, the very first sound ever to be created for the Star Wars universe was the lightsaber sound. Yes, Ben Burtt, the creator, audio designer of the sounds of the Star Wars universe, the guy who created the sounds for R2-D2, Chewbacca, also created the sound for the lightsaber, and he was inspired by some concept art that he saw, where he saw Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader with their respected lightsabers, and immediately he thought about, wow, I wonder what that sounds like. So the very first sound to ever come out of the Star Wars universe, to ever be created in the Star Wars universe, was the sound of the lightsaber. Now, this one here, this is a very valuable one to me. I love this one. This is actually Anakin's or Luke's, depending upon how you look at it. This was the iconic one. I mean, if there's ever been a lightsaber that I wanted, it was Luke Skywalker's blue lightsaber, handed down by Anakin, or, given to Luke by Anakin. You know the story. I don't need to repeat it here. So this is one of those replicas where, or toy designs, not replicas, but toy design, where out of that same series, where the top sticks out, it doesn't collapse all the way down into the handle, and it extends out and it emits a sound. This is obviously not working right now. And as you can see as well, this got a lot of action to it. So a lot of play in this. Really good lightsaber, especially if you want to beat your friends up with it. This was a really, really good one for kids and for older kids. Like fact number three, Luke's lightsaber in Return of the Jedi was originally going to be blue. Yes, it was originally going to be blue, not the green lightsaber that he had in Return of the Jedi. Now, the hilt was going to be the same because it was based on Obi-Wan Kenobi's hilt. And there's actually a cut scene from the movie where he goes to Tatooine and he goes into Obi-Wan's house and he rebuilds a lightsaber. And like I said, it was going to be blue. Now, why did they make it green then instead of blue? Well, it had to do with the skyline backdrop. When Luke finally dons this lightsaber, he's on the skiffs outside of Jabba's palace, or Jabba's barge, sorry. And his lightsaber didn't stick out well enough against the blue background of the sky. And so George Lucas decided to change it from that blue background to, or that the blue lightsaber to the green lightsaber. So that's the story on how his blue lightsaber became his green lightsaber. Fact number three, it is rumored that Sir Alec Guinness came up with the name Light Saber. Yes, originally in George Lucas's mind, this was simply called a laser sword. And as a matter of fact, if you ever listen to George Lucas talk about the lightsaber, he kind of uses the term laser sword quite often. Does it quite a bit. He always says, oh yes, and we had a laser sword, and we had an idea for swords in the future, and they were laser swords, and it was laser sword and laser sword. And then every once in a while, he'll say lightsaber. And if you notice that in the movie The Phantom Menace, it is called a laser sword. It's actually not called a lightsaber. I don't think it's referred to as lightsaber at all. It's referred to as a laser sword. The rumor is, and this is one of the things that I'm not sure is true, so it's true that it's a rumor, but maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. I heard it from a reliable source, but even the reliable source that I heard it from said they think that this is the case. Sir Alec Guinness wanted to give it a more elegant name for an elegant weapon, and instead of calling it a laser sword, he said, why don't we call it a light saber? And as many times, George Lucas signed off on the project. Now, this is one of those battle blades. They have a couple of different lightsabers. So a little bit about this one right here. Now, unfortunately, this one is not working right now. The inside is really kind of messy. It was done, it's not a Star Wars replica or a Star Wars issued lightsaber. It's just one of the fan lightsabers, and I got it for Christmas a couple years ago, and I really like it because the blade is blue, and I'm a fan of the blue blade. The hilt, however, isn't Luke Skywalker's, but at least the blade's blue, so kudos on that one. Really happy about the blade being blue, but it's broken. And yes, I've looked inside, and there's a lot of tape and stuff. The people who designed these ones didn't do the best job at them. Now, the other thing with this one, as I said, this is a battle blade, because apparently, and I don't know for sure, but the ones that are produced by Hasbro now, they're not really meant to be smacked around. They'll, as I've heard, I've never done this, but I've heard this, the LED light in the blade part will break, but there are some that are made to be smacked around, and this was one of them. This was one of them. It was made to be smacked around, so you can dent it a bit. Now, by the time I got these nicer ones and these more expensive ones, I wasn't really smacking people around or trying to recreate Star Wars stuff in my back or front yard. I had outgrown it to a degree. I'm not going to say I never did it, but I outgrew it to a degree. And you can see that the blade on this isn't nicked up like you can see on these previous blades. I mean, these blades here are just nicked up, but on this one here, you can see it's pretty clean. So really cool. Alec Guinness came up with the name Light Saber and saved us from calling it the laser sword. Fact number 5, getting a blue lightsaber is really difficult. So I don't really know if this is so much of a fact as it is a rant. Now today, you can get a blue lightsaber. You can order one of these and get a blue one and check all the boxes and it'll come to you blue, and there's no problem. But when I was a kid, the iconic weapon that I really wanted wasn't Darth Vader's, it wasn't Obi-Wan Kenobi's, it was Luke Skywalker's blue lightsaber. And this is the hilt there, the recreated hilt. However, this one is pink, not blue. And that's still an elusive one for me today. I just need to get Luke Skywalker's blue lightsaber. Would love to have Luke Skywalker's blue lightsaber. Not a blue lightsaber, but Luke Skywalker's blue lightsaber. Anyway, it's been troublesome for me for many years because, as I said, this was what I wanted when I was a kid, was Luke Skywalker, a toy Luke Skywalker's blue lightsaber. And it was crazy because the Luke Skywalker toys came with a yellow lightsaber. I couldn't believe it. The original Luke Skywalker had an extended lightsaber that came out of his arm. And what color was it? Blue? No, it was yellow. And then after Empire Strikes Back came out, Bespin Luke had an attachable lightsaber. And guess what color it was? It was yellow. And then finally, we jumped ahead to Return of the Jedi. And when I got the Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker, I got his green lightsaber. Well, great, but I wanted the blue lightsaber. And it was true with the toys, too. Now, like I said, you can buy a blue lightsaber today, no problem. Actually, since about 1995, 96, you could buy the blue ones. I've got this one right here, this blue lightsaber here. But before that, you couldn't get a blue lightsaber to save your life. I mean, unless you knew somebody had to do some fancy work here. I mean, it was just nutty. Even the replica toys, Like I said, the original one that wasn't produced by Kenner, it was green. And I think there was a red one too, but I'm not sure about that. I know that the one that I had that was just the red flashlight with the extended blade was green. Then you got the inflatable ones, and guess what the inflatable ones were? The inflatable ones were yellow. Yeah, yellow. And then later they had, I think it was after Return of the Jedi, as I recall, they had another series of these lightsabers that were really clunky. The handles were hollow, and if you swung them around, they made this whistling sound that sounded nothing like what was in the movie. But, you know, I think that if you had an imagination, you could do it. But guess what colors they came in? They came in, at least the ones that I saw, came in green and red. And I've seen some that actually are yellow too, but a blue lightsaber. I mean, what was the problem, Kenner? Just give me a gosh darn blue lightsaber. They didn't actually start producing any blue lightsabers, like I said, until after 1994-95, when they came out with this toy line series. All right, well, those are 5 facts you may or may not have known. So which facts did you like best? Which one did you like least? Was there any that you didn't know that I informed you on? Well, go ahead and leave all that stuff in the comments below. And as always, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Want to part with some of your hard-earned cash? Follow the link below to the Patreon page, where I gladly accept your money to help me build all my wildest YouTube dreams. And until we meet again, stay retro, but also may the Force be with you.